Yesterday, Sayadaw explained how one can gain accomplishment in the teaching of the Buddha. By practicing according to the teaching of the Buddha, one's body, speech and mind will be blameless, pure, clean, cultured, gentle, peaceful and lovable, and thus one can accomplish the Buddhist culture within oneself. In order to accomplish the Buddha's teaching, there are two factors. The first one is sadhuka savana. One must learn attentively on the correct method of practice. And the second one is sadhuka manasikara. One should practice in such a way that the noting mind should be concurrent with the object of meditation. One must have both of these factors in order to accomplish the Buddha's teaching. It is not enough just by having one of the two, but it is essential that one should have both of the factors in order to accomplish the Buddha's teaching. So these two factors were mentioned in the commentary. Because it was mentioned in the commentary, it will not be accepted as widely as the text. Buddha himself also taught in Anguttara Nikaya, and yesterday Sayadaw had to finish his talk because 1 hour was up, so his talk yesterday was mainly on basic encouragement to the yogis, and Sayadaw did not have time to explain further. And yesterday, Sayadaw said Sayadaw would explain on appamada, the word appamada, but Sayadaw will not explain on it today. Sayadaw will continue to explain on the topic explained yesterday so that the meaning will be more obvious to you. And Sayadaw says that just by explaining theoretically, one will not understand it well. So today Sayadaw will explain from practical point of view also, so that it will be a support to your practice. In the Buddha Sasana, knowledge is very important. By having knowledge, one can reach the top. Morality is the foundation, and one needs this foundation of morality. As a human being, to be a genuine human being, one needs to practice morality. By practicing morality, one's body and speech will be blameless. One's body and speech will be free from rudeness, grossness, and so on, if one is able to observe morality. Practicing morality is just the foundation, it is just the basic. It is not enough just to be practicing morality. One needs to refrain from physical and verbal misconduct. One should avoid from doing such things. Sayadaw gives an example. If there is a place where there is contagious illness, one should avoid oneself from going to such kind of place. In the same way, one should avoid oneself. One should refrain oneself from doing physical, verbal misconduct. Failing to refrain from such misconduct, one's body and speech will be disgusting and frightening. So one should understand that these misconducts are things that are frightening and that are shame-worthy. So one should avoid from such misconduct. By avoiding, by refraining from such misconduct, one is controlling oneself. Having control of oneself, one can overcome the internal enemy. Overcoming the internal enemy, one will be free from frightening danger. So it is very important to overcome internal enemy in order to be free from frightening danger. Someone who has done misconduct by body and speech, she will not be at ease. She will have worry that she will be hurt by others as a revenge. So the person who has done misconduct can have frightening danger such as self-blame. A person who has done mistake will be blaming himself, herself, criticizing himself, herself as a bad person. So this is the first kind of frightening danger, self-blame and self-criticism. And someone who has done misconduct will also be criticized by others. Being criticized by others is the second kind of frightening danger. The person will be criticized by the wise, blamed by the wise. And if the person has committed misconduct, the authority can take action by law on the person who had done bad deeds. This is the third kind of frightening danger. And the fourth one is, because one had done misconduct with bad volition, his or her bad volition can lead the person to be reborn in lower existences. So this is the fourth kind of frightening danger. Failing to control oneself, one will not overcome the internal enemy, and thus one can meet with all kinds of frightening danger. If one can control oneself, one can overcome the internal enemy, and thus one will be free from these all kinds of danger. And in this very life, one can be free from the first three: self-blame, being blamed by others, and also be taken action by law. So these three dangers can be freed if one can overcome the internal enemy. And having control of oneself, one will not be hurting others. The others will not be hurt by himself. The others will not be hurt by him or her. Having control of extreme form of defilement, such as lobha, dosa, and moha, others will not get hurt. If one fails to overcome extreme form of defilements such as lobha, dosa, moha, then the person is said to be a person who is not a genuine human. Failing to control oneself, one will be hurting others. If one can control oneself, if one can overcome one's own extreme form of lobha, dosa, moha, then one will not be hurting others, so the others are automatically protected. So having self-control, other people are automatically protected from being hurt. So it is like two at a blow. Having self-control, one will not be hurting others, and thus others are automatically protected. Having genuine metta, loving kindness towards others, such kind of person can associate smoothly with others. When dealing with others, a person who has genuine metta will not take advantage of others. She will have patience, forgiveness, sacrifice. Having these five precepts, the others will not get hurt by the person. One can avoid others from being hurt with genuine metta towards others. And one can do so also with compassion towards others. A person who has genuine metta will also have compassion towards others. Having genuine metta, one is free from dosa. Having compassion, one is free from cruelty kind of dosa. So Sayadaw said, if half the population of the world can keep 5 precepts, they will be free from the internal enemy, and thus they will be free from frightening danger, and thus the world will be very peaceful. So it is very important to have genuine metta and karuna. It is very important to have genuine loving kindness and compassion towards others. Having compassion towards others, one will not hurt others. One has consideration towards others. If one does not like to be hurt, the others will be the same. Having consideration towards others, one does not hurt others, and thus one automatically controls himself or herself. So having compassion towards others, one controls himself and herself. One automatically controls himself or herself. So it is a very basic. But in order to be free from wrongful thoughts of wanting to kill others, wanting to hurt others, such kind of wrongful thoughts cannot be avoided by observance of sila, morality. Observing sila, morality, is the refraining of physical and verbal misconduct. But it is not enough in order to be free from wrongful thoughts. In order to be free from wrongful thoughts, wanting to kill others, wanting to hurt others, in order to be free from such wrongful thoughts, one needs to practice Satipatthana meditation. One should be mindful every time the object arises. One should be mindful of every arising object. Whatever the object arises, one should note one should aim the noting mind towards the object, and one should put effort so that the noting mind will reach the object of meditation. Being able to note with aim and effort, the mind will stick onto the object, the mind will be calm and collected. This effort is called viriya. One should assert viriya, effort, so that the onto the object. And this mindfulness protects the mind away from the defilements. So the mind is protected with mindfulness away from the defilements. When the noting mind sticks onto the object, the mind does not run elsewhere. The mind will not be agitated by lust. The mind will not be agitated by anger or hatred. And thus, the mind is free from the defilement. Having viriya effort present, this effort does not give way for defilement. Effort repels the defilement. Having sati, mindfulness, this mindfulness protects the mind away from defilement. Having samadhi concentration, the mind is calm and collected. So if the yogi can note for 1 second, then for that second, the mind is free from wrongful thoughts. The mind will not have the wish to hurt others or to kill others, and thus the mind is free from wrongful thoughts the moment the yogi is able to note the object. At times when the defilements arise, yogi must do necessary action in order to cure it right away, that is, to be mindful of it. As the yogi gains practice, whatever the object arises, the noting mind just sticks to the object without having to aim for especially. When this happens, the mind will not run elsewhere. The mind is protected, the mind is controlled, and thus the person is said to have a humane mind. So in the practice, yogi should be noting with aim and effort. When the yogi notes the object, aiming the mind towards the object, the noting mind hits the target of the object of meditation. As the yogi gains momentum in the practice, the yogi does not need to aim the noting mind especially, but the noting mind kind of automatically falls onto the object. When the noting mind falls onto the object, when the noting mind falls on rising of the abdomen, one does not know not only the manner of rising, but the yogi will come to know the true nature, such as stiffness, tension, movement, warmth, and so on. When the noting mind falls onto this rising of the abdomen, yogi comes to know the nature, such as stiffness, tension, warmth, cold, heat, and so on. And the same goes with the falling of the abdomen. When the noting mind falls onto the falling of the abdomen, one comes to know movement, relaxation, and so on. So when the noting mind falls on the object of meditation, one comes to know the nature, the true nature of the object. At that moment, yogi is overcoming defilement, and yogi is weakening the defilement momentarily. One can weaken these defilements momentarily by practicing Vipassana, Vipassana knowledge can weaken the defilement, and finally, Ariya Magga Jnana, path knowledge, can eradicate the defilement totally. In order to get to this stage, yogi should be mindful whatever object that arises. So yogis should be diligent in their practice. Yogis should practice according to the method given. Yogis should practice accurately according to the guidance given by the meditation teachers. So yogis should follow very precisely, accurately according to the guidance given. They should practice intensively, meticulously. Among these two factors, one should be noting with aim and effort. One should be noting attentively. When one is noting with aim and effort, when the noting mind falls onto the object, yogi will discern mind and matter. Yogi will know distinctly between mind and matter. And such knowledge is not gained through imagination, but it is gained through personal experience of practice. And later on, one will also know cause and effect relationship between mind and matter. When the yogi discerns distinctly between mind and matter, yogi understands that there is no other thing apart from mind and matter. And when the yogi understands cause and effect relationship between mind and matter, yogi understands that there is no creator. Understanding distinctly between mind and matter, yogi overcomes the wrong view of atta, jiva atta, individual soul. Understanding cause and effect relationship, yogi understands that there is no creator which is controlling the individual soul. So in this way, yogi overcomes the wrong view of atta, the wrong view of individual soul and the supreme soul. When yogi comes to know that the nama-rupa phenomena which are relating as cause and effect, they are arising and passing away. In this way, yogi also comes to understand the characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Understanding the characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and non-self, yogi will not believe anymore that there is atta, the soul that is permanent, good or self. In this way, yogi overcomes this wrong view. So in this way, yogi develops Vipassana jnana stage by stage. Developing Vipassana jnana, yogi is weakening, suppressing the defilement that has been following throughout the round of existences. By developing Vipassana knowledge, defilements are weakened, and finally, yogi can eradicate defilement when he/she has attained Ariya Magga Jnana, path knowledge. When the yogi has attained at least Sotapatti Magga Jnana, when the yogi becomes a stream enterer, he/she has totally eradicated the gross form of defilement that can lead the person to be reborn in lower existences. Understanding cause and effect, understanding the characteristic of impermanent suffering and non-self, such knowledge is called Vipassana Samadhi. And when the knowledges become matured, the person can eradicate kilesa defilement, one can attain the genuine peace, which is Nibbana. It is called Magga Samadhi, the path knowledge. In order to gain these two knowledge, Vipassana Samadhi and Magga Samadhi, there need to be two factors. Buddha taught in Anguttara Nikaya that there are two factors needed in order to attain the two knowledges, Vipassana Samadhi and Magga Samadhi. In order to attain this Vipassana knowledge and path knowledge, the first factor that is needed is Parato Sagoso. It means that the person needs to learn the correct method of practice from wise person such as Buddha. And the second factor is Yoniso Manasikara. The person needs to be mindful of every arising object. The noting mind should be concurrent with the object of meditation. Having these two factors, one can attain the two kinds of knowledges, Vipassana Samadhi and Magga Samadhi. So Buddha taught this. So as Sayadaw had explained about the commentary, this commentator did not write this from his imagination, but he wrote this in accordance with the teaching of the Buddha. So Buddha generally said as Samadhi. Samadhi is the knowledge that knows accurately, precisely on cause and effect of this nama rupa and the characteristics of impermanent suffering and non-self. It is called Vipassana Samadhi. When knowledge becomes matured, when the yogi discerns the cessation of mind and matter, it will become Magga Samadhi. Magga Samadhi is the path knowledge one attains when one attains the cessation of nama rupa. So Samadhi, there are 5 or 6 categories. The first one is Kammasakata Samadhi, the knowledge knowing that good deeds bring good results, bad deeds bring bad results. These good and bad deeds are making good and bad results. So such knowledge is called Kammasakata Samadhi. And Sayadaw gives a sample. It is just like the understanding that eating suitable food will be conducive to good health. Eating unsuitable food will bring bad health. In the same way, the kind of knowledge knowing that good deeds bring good results, bad deeds bring bad results, good action by body, speech and mind will bring good results. So such knowledge is called Kammasakata Samadhi. Among the 4 kinds of belief, Buddhism and Hinduism have this kind of Kammasakata Samadhi. Among these two, Buddhism and Hinduism, Buddhists believe on this Kammasakata Samadhi alone. But the Hinduism, they have a dual belief. They believe in Kammasakata Samadhi as well as they have this belief on Creator. So they have this dual belief, and such belief is not pure. But the Buddhist people, they have Kammasakata Samadhi. They believe that good and bad deeds are bringing good and bad results. The second type of Samadhi is Jhana Samadhi. It's the knowledge associating with mundane kind of jhana. When one practices mundane kind of jhana, one can gain collectedness of mind, and thus one gains jhana samadhi. The third one is Vipassana samadhi, is the knowledge, knowing cause and effect relationship, as well as knowing impermanent suffering and non-self. Knowing nama rupa, knowing in various modes of impermanent suffering, non-self, it is Vipassana samadhi. When one attains cessation with past knowledge, one gains magga samadhi, and by attaining fruition knowledge, one gains phala samadhi. And when one review or reflect on one's experience of magga phala, it is called Vipassana samadhi. Among the 6 types of samadhi, the later 3, one should not be practicing, but one should make it a point to practice on the first one. In order to gain Vipassana samadhi, one needs to have this foundation of Kammasakata samadhi. One should have the knowledge that good deeds bring good results, bad deeds bring bad results. So this Kammasakata samadhi will be a foundation in order to develop Vipassana samadhi. So Buddha taught that Kammasakata samadhi is the basic, it is foundation, and one needs to practice sila, morality, so that one can develop Vipassana samadhi easily. So in order to gain this Vipassana samadhi, one needs to practice diligently. One should have faith and confidence in the practice, and also one should observe morality. Monks, yogis, they should practice morality respectfully, so that their practice of meditation will be smooth. And Sayadaw will continue to explain the next day. Sadhu, 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 sadhu.